Kim! So today was the moment when Kim Kardashian got to say what she described as my truth. It's her version of events of what happened that night in 2016 in the confines of her hotel. It was really quite traumatic at times, and she described the terror that she'd felt as these two masked men burst in. They stomped up the stairs. She thought at one point that she was going to be raped. A man pulled her along the bed, and then after that she thought she would be killed. She said a silent prayer to herself, thinking of her family, her friends, and her sister. It was really a very long day for her. She spoke for nearly 4 hours with just a 40-minute break in between, answering rounds and rounds of questions that went into the great detail of what happened that night. There were times when the emotion overwhelmed her. One of the lawyers representing one of the accused read out a letter where he expressed his regret. There she had a paper towel which she used to wipe her nose, seemingly wiping away tears. But otherwise she dealt with all of the questions with aplomb, I thought. It was, it lasted for such a long time. By the end of it, the fatigue was starting to show. She asked for a chair, and she was able to sit down for the last questions.
How difficult or easy was that for her?
I'm not sure that it was that difficult. I think she was very generous about it. It's a hard thing to ask somebody to forgive a violent crime. And make no mistake about it, it was a very violent crime. She was essentially naked, bound on a bed. Strange men are touching her. They're pulling her. She thinks in her mind that she's being raped or murdered. And so you try to have, generosity in your heart. And someone asks you point blank, please forgive me for what I did to you. And she did. But deep inside, she's still their victim.
Well, Kim Kardashian was able to explain about how this night in 2016 changed her life. Paris had been a city that she'd loved. She walked around at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, going window shopping, sometimes stopping for hot chocolate. All of that's finished now. She talked about how she has a phobia of going outside, how she lives with 4 to 6 security guards at home.
I think it was, a heroic effort on her part. Obviously, she testified this was a devastating experience for her. It fundamentally changed the arc of her life and the way she's lived her life ever since. She was so distraught at the time that she was not even able to come back here and to be in Paris, a city that she's always loved and felt very free and comfortable with. But I think she was very committed to it for a variety of reasons, including the fact that she herself wants to follow in her father's footsteps, become a lawyer.
Well, this is a jury trial here in France, and so it's going to be to the members of the jury who will then be weighing all of the evidence, and that evidence still hasn't finished coming. There are more hearings tomorrow, there'll be more hearings in the days ahead, and the verdict is not expected before the end of the month.